Hi, I'm Kate Rogers, live in Denver. We are with the new CEO of Chipotle, Brian Niccol. Thank you so much for being here.
Great to be here.
Congratulations on the job and a very strong quarter.
Yeah,
you mentioned expanding delivery. It's in 1,500 locations now. How are you going to let more people know that this is available, and how quickly will you be offering that into other restaurants?
Look, so the plan is actually here in the next week or two, we're going to be much more public with our partners, and then we're also going to provide opportunities for people to really get an experience of Chipotle being delivered. And the good news is, even today, people are searching for Chipotle in places like DoorDash and Postmates. So we know the demand is there. Now the opportunity presents itself for us to use digital, social media to really elevate the aspect that Chipotle can be delivered. Like, you can have your favorite burrito or bowl brought to your home. How great is that, right?
Absolutely, and you also have a second make line, right, for mobile and digital orders, and that's supposed to speed up the lines in stores, which has historically been an issue for Chipotle. So are you making any inroads with that?
We are. I'm glad you bring that up. One of the things that is really powerful for us is, we have the consumer-facing line that probably all of us have experienced. Then we have a second line that is able to take these digital orders so it doesn't impact the guest experience that's here in the restaurant. And at the same token, it gives us the capacity to take on a lot more orders during these peak periods and throughout the day. And we have these second make lines in all our restaurants, and we're actually in the process of automating and digitizing those lines so that you no longer get a paper ticket and people have to figure out what to make, but literally at that line, the employee will get the order in, they'll be able to make it right there. They set it up for the customer to come pick up in a 15-minute interval, or a delivery driver to come in and pick it up, and then off they go. So it really has improved accuracy, it's improved speed, and also it's really just improved the total experience on both lines.
Okay. Now, restaurants, not just Chipotle, are facing higher labor costs and food costs. How's that impacting the company? We heard you say on the call yesterday you will focus on investing in your employees, so obviously that cost will hit you there, and you have to do that in order to create a strong culture. But how's the company dealing with those headwinds?
Look, the key word is growth. So the good news for Chipotle is we have a growth opportunity in front of us, and that's going to be job one, is make sure that we're growing sales, transactions, restaurants, because as we grow, you can overcome some of the inflation. The second piece is we're going to be very aggressive on the cost side of things. If the cost doesn't need to be there, it's not serving a purpose for our team member, it's not serving a purpose for our customer, we should figure out how we can eliminate it and get better at either buying that proposition or finding a different way of doing it. And the good news is, with technology, and I think just the insights and the knowledge that we have on our operating system, I think there's opportunities to offset some of that with also just great cost management coupled with really exciting growth.
So the stock, of course, has rallied quite a bit since your announcement. Pre-market, it was up over 50% since February 13th when you were announced as the new CEO. That's great news for investors, but what can you do to reassure them that this is a turnaround story, it's not just a quick fix, and that you're here to get the job done?
Yeah, look, we have a lot of work to do. This has been a great couple of days. It's been a great couple of months as I've gotten into the job. But what I'm really excited about is we've brought on some really great talent on my leadership team. Most recently we appointed Chris Brandt, our Chief Marketing Officer. We just brought in Maurice Andrada, our head of HR. We've brought in new people to lead ops, Scott Boatwright, Lori Shallows, our communications. These are all new people that I think are coming to join our team to help us really focus on the recovery and the turnaround. And I'm very excited about the fact that we focused on the fundamentals, because once we get the fundamentals moving, we can add things like more digital capability, more menu innovation, and also the economic support, more restaurants. So a lot of work still to be done, but boy, there's a lot of clarity on that work that we need to go do on both the innovation side and the fundamentals.
And so in terms of catering, that's about 1% of the business right now. That seems like a huge growth opportunity for the company. Can you tell us a little bit more about your plans for catering and how you'll expand that in the future?
Yeah, so our goal for catering is we want to be more relevant for more occasions. So if it's, Thursday night dinner and you've got two families getting together, we want catering to be top of mind at Chipotle. If it's, an Eagles game on a Sunday, we want catering and Chipotle to be top of mind as well. So I think we have two things to do. The last time I saw the data, I think over 55% of people aren't even aware we do cater. Okay, so if I just get those 55% of people to be aware, and then we elevate all the occasions that catering can be relevant for, I agree with you. 1% is clearly just the starting point.
Yeah. So in terms of kind of rehabbing the image, reminding people why they love Chipotle, the stock is volatile. It can move quickly, on any headline, whether it's true or false regarding foodborne illness. As CEO, how do you defend those moves? Are you nervous about that at all?
Look, the best thing we can do is stay focused on our strategy, stay focused on executing the fundamentals. We do those things correct, we can be proud of what we're doing. We give a great guest experience with great food, with team members that are trained, passionate about being in their positions, excited about the opportunity. That is our best form of offense. And then the next key piece of offense is thinking about what's around the corner for us, and what do we test, what do we learn, so that we continue to figure out how we take Chipotle to the next chapter and then the next chapter. So that'll be our focus area of what's next. History is one of those things that's great to understand, but it's not going to always tell you what you should be doing next.
So you moved from a completely franchised model over to completely company-owned. And so analysts were very excited about your appointment, but when you heard any slight negatives, that was one of the things that came up. So what are you going to tell them? Why are you the right guy for the job? What have you learned so far?
Look, I love the fact that we own all our restaurants. I really think it is a powerful proposition for us. First, the economic support doing it. But second, it gives us unbelievable insight into our customers and how we're executing our proposition. And, the thing that's great is we have 72,000 ambassadors of this brand in every restaurant.
Yep.
There are our employees, sorry. And, what I have found is I'm just spending more and more time connecting with them. I've got a blog. I try to get into the restaurants as much as I can. And I want them to know that, anytime they need to call me, email me, however they want to reach out, I want to understand what's going on. Yeah, I want to be very accessible. And I want to make sure that we're building a culture in these restaurants that people can be proud of, and they feel like they've got the support of everybody around them.
So on the call last night, you mentioned multiple tiers of things that you guys are focusing on. So marketing, spending money there, investing in your employees, digital, menu innovation, catering, delivery. As CEO, those things are all great, but what has you most excited to move the needle on comps and get that momentum back that you had a few years ago here with the company?
Look, I am really excited about the innovation around access because I think our proposition is very compelling. And when I've looked at the data, one of the biggest barriers for people is just access. We only have 2,500 Chipotles roughly, and so we're not in every neighborhood yet. And there are people that would, the second we open the opportunity for them to have more access to Chipotle, I think we're going to see a lot of people really engage with this brand at a different level. So I'm very excited about that. And then obviously we're a restaurant company. So how can I not be excited about some additional food items coming into this business? Our food is fabulous, and I think the new food we're going to bring is going to be equally fabulous.
So tell us what your morning routine is. When you wake up first thing in the morning, what do you do?
So, my morning routine is usually I wake up. First thing I do is I actually go and try and get a workout in. We've got a busy household. We're a family of 5, so if I don't do it early, it usually doesn't happen. So get a quick workout in, and then my wife and I are trying to figure out how we get all 3 kids off to school. So that's the key piece of the puzzle. It's usually a cup of coffee, and Jen and I are trying to figure out who's got who going where. And then I'm a big reader, so I usually read Wall Street Journal, New York Times, the local newspaper. And then I love to check the headlines on places like CNBC. I'm passionate about hearing what's going on. I think the more you can be informed and aware of what's on people's minds, I think the better you can operate in the jobs that I have. Because, it's easy to just get very narrow, and I just want to avoid that. So I try to use my morning routine to expand before you start diving into, the daily
everything
tasks.
Else.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and any advice you have for first-time home buyers? What was your biggest lesson when you bought your first home?
Oh,
and
wow.
Where was it?
Yeah, so I bought my first home. Jennifer and I bought our first home in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was a brand manager at Procter & Gamble, and we'd just gotten married. And we really wanted to live in this neighborhood, Mount Lookout. And what I would suggest to everybody is, don't overdo it on your first place. Find a place that you can afford and enjoy. Because I don't know about you, but I had to write a check for the biggest check of my life to put out the down payment, and then next thing I know, I'm signing all these papers on this mortgage.
More
And I'm like,
expensive than you thought?
Than I ever thought I would
Yeah.
be taking, right? So, don't overextend. You have a home that is comfortable. You can do the things you want to do in your home, and then you can also do the things you want to do out of your home. So we were fortunate because both Jen and I agreed, like, let's get something we know we can afford and handle. But I was still shaking when I was signing that first check.
Yeah, you worked so hard to save all that money.
Yeah, totally.
One more question for you. As new CEO, we got to know, what is your order here? What do you like to eat?
Oh, what do I like to eat? Well, I usually start off with making sure I get some chips and guac. Both are, I think, fabulous. And then I go with a bowl, and I usually do white rice, carnitas, black beans, the veggies, spicy salsa, and a little lettuce.
All right, great. Brian Niccol, the new CEO of Chipotle, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.